Okay, we're gonna start over. Welcome to Jackie, what show?
Sharenberg.
Sharenberg, thank you. I'm so
It's a
sorry.
long name. It's.
It is, I'll give you that. Now I can't find Karen's
My
message.
first name's Jacqueline too, so my parents really. It's like a spelling test. Yeah.
Thank you, Mom and Dad, huh, for all those names.
Yeah.
I lost her message. Okay, so we'll start over. Tiffany, our founder, Woman in Focus, contacted Karen and suggested that she take a look at Jackie's photographs on Instagram. Tiffany's been following her a while. She's impressed with Jackie's night photography and focus on St. Louis nostalgia. When Karen reached out to Jackie, she agreed to present, therefore she's here. And Jackie's been taking photos around St. Louis during her hours before and after work. She shares her stories and ideas online, and she has a large following on social media. She has a unique and creative way of sharing something we all have in common, which is our love for photography. And now I'm going to pin the microphone to Jackie so y'all can hear her at home. The recording will work. Okay. Oh, you know what? Come over here because the computer won't stretch out for because of the plug. There we go. Yes. Welcome, Jackie.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's see if I can hit this somewhere. That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Let me start this. Should be. Okay, well. Oh my God, I guess. I think you can minimize it with that little.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So my name's Jackie, and as she said, I've been taking photos before and after work for the last a little over a year and a half. This is one of my photos in the background here, and oh, there's a few examples of the kinds of photos I've been taking. That is downtown St. Louis at around 6 a.m. That's at the Balloon Glow, which is tomorrow night. If
Yeah.
anybody's going, I'm gonna be there.
I'm gonna go.
And then that's Tim's Chrome Bar in Bevo Mill. Yeah, see it a little bit better. But so a little bit about me and kind of my background with photography is I got my first camera. Well, I guess I didn't get my first camera. I borrowed my first camera from my uncle for a school trip that we went to Rome with my high school choir. And I had never gone on a trip like that. And I was like, I better take a camera. So let me go borrow one from my uncle. And it was a Nikon D80. And he obviously was really into photography at the time, and he was very nice to let me borrow it. I had no idea what I was doing with it. Like, I didn't know any camera settings. I was pointing and shooting my way through Rome, which some of the photos turned out, but that's how you learn, right? You start small, and then when I got back from that, I ended up going to school up in Chicago, and I studied abroad in London. And at that point, I was like, okay, I need to get my own camera. So when it was time to buy a camera, I bought the same one my uncle had. I bought a used Nikon D80 because I was kind of familiar with it. Still studied abroad, didn't learn anything about cameras. Just bought the camera, had no idea what I was doing. But I took a lot of photos, and I came back and I was like, I'm gonna take photography classes. So I took a few basic beginner classes in school, and I took a lot of photos while I was in school. But then, what happens is you get out of school, you get a job, you feel like you don't have time for your hobbies, you're not really, doing as much as you would like to during the week. Like, I don't know if any of you guys feel like that. But a lot of my photography since school has been travel focused because that's when you feel like you have the time to really pull your camera out and actually explore. So that's really what I've been doing for the last, I guess, almost 10 years now, is just, only taking my photo camera out on trips. And I sort of got to the point last year, or I guess it's 2023 now, where I was like, you are going to work in the morning, you're coming home, you're making dinner, and you're going to bed. And that's all you're doing every day. And you're not enjoying, like, the things that you used to enjoy. So, life's not going to get better if you don't make it better. So I decided, okay, January 2024, I am going to go out and I'm going to start taking photos again. And the way I did that was I made a New Year's resolution, like, I'm going to get up before work. I'm going to get up at 5 a.m. every day, and I'm going to spend an hour before work taking photos. And so I started going out and I started posting about it on social media, which is what this video is. We'll see what happens here. Is it gonna? Okay, it's not gonna play the sound, but I'll still play the video.
Jackie,
Oh, yes.
we're not seeing your slides, anything but the first one.
Oh no.
There you go. You
Maybe I'll
got it.
leave it like this. I'll leave it like this
Okay.
then. That just a backtrack for you guys. Here's some photos that I've taken, and then this is just a brief kind of summary of my photography experience.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting me know.
Yeah.
Okay, this is you probably can't read it if it's that small. But basically the idea behind this video is, this is a video I posted to Instagram and TikTok about my kind of journey into prioritizing something that I love again and like really making time for myself during the week. And that was kind of the goal with this. Because I started posting to social media, it became kind of like an accountability thing for me. So I would post every day, I'd go out every day and I'd post the photos that I was taking. But it also turned into something more than that. I obviously I'm very fortunate that it worked out this way, but because I was posting so much, I started to gain a little bit of a following on TikTok. And that's where I was posting because are you guys on social media? Do you guys use Sometimes I feel like it can be a little bit embarrassing to post things for everybody to see. Like you get a little self-conscious about stuff. So I started posting to TikTok because I didn't have any friends on TikTok. And I was like, it's only going to be strangers. Nobody's going to know, like nobody's going to judge. And if they do judge, I'm not going to know them in real life. So that's where I started. I was posting on TikTok every day and I thought, well, I can't be that embarrassed because none of my friends and family are going to know that I'm posting on TikTok every day. So really this whole project started out as kind of like a love letter to myself, I guess, but it ended up that because I was taking photos around St. Louis so often, I was getting a lot of followers from St. Louis because, people want to see where they're from. And I kind of learned in the process that like accidentally I started kind of, I'm searching for the word. I guess it's like romanticizing the ordinary, I guess I would say.
I like that.
And so because I was taking these photos on my commute a lot of the times, or like if I was out with friends, I might just snap a photo, on the way home. I'm taking the long way home every night now. Like from here, I'll just take all the side streets and see what I can find. But really, I had a video go like semi-viral on TikTok almost exactly a year ago. And that video was sort of kind of a rebellious response to somebody talking negatively about St. Louis. I had somebody in my comments saying, why are you shooting in St. Louis? Like you should leave. It's so terrible there, blah, 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 blah. And so I didn't call out the comment specifically, but I was like, people like to say bad things about this place, but why would you say such bad stuff? Like this place is so beautiful. And I was showing the photos. And that really resonated with a lot of people because I think a lot of people here like really love this city, but it doesn't get a lot of good press. And it's really unfortunate because like the comment actually said, your photos are so beautiful, but you should leave St. Louis. And I said, well, my photos are beautiful because they're photos of St. Louis. So what's the problem here? But like it's true. And so that's kind of like I said, this was originally a love letter to myself, but it ended up being more of a love letter to St. Louis because so many people related to the photos, and also I think related to the idea that, you know, we are all, I mean, I don't know what you guys do for day jobs or what you're doing in your free time, but a lot of people are, you know, working 40 hours a week at a job that pays the bills, and they're not like loving work, and they're, you know, looking for something. I get a lot of comments and DMs from people who are like, you know, this really inspired me to get back into photography. This inspired me to like try something new, you know, and I don't know. I think it's just, it's really easy to kind of get sucked into your job sometimes, or whatever it may be, even family. Like, it's nice to have time for yourself. So that's really kind of the story behind all of this stuff. And yeah, I eventually started posting to Instagram because people were responding so positively on TikTok that I was like, okay, be brave, like post in front of your friends and family, it's gonna be okay. And thankfully that has gone well as well. So, and I'm on Facebook now. I'm trying Facebook. We'll see how that goes. Okay, so then now I just have like a few examples of photos that I've taken. A lot of, I guess I'll start by saying my gear right now is just, I use a Nikon D7200. I don't know what you guys are using, if you guys are using like the latest and greatest, or.
We're all over.
Okay, yeah. I mean, my philosophy is like, use what you have, you know. I don't have a lot of extra cash to be spending on photography gear because it can add up really quickly. So I'm using the Nikon D7200 with the kit lens, very simple setup. And I have a like $150 tripod. That's like a travel tripod that I bought because my last tripod that was like $40 broke. And I was like, well, I guess I should invest a little more money into the tripod. So, not too crazy on the gear on my end. And I think a lot of people think like, oh, you have to buy the newest best thing. It obviously depends on what you're taking photos of. I don't think my camera would work really well in like a live action setting.
Best camera's the one you got with you.
Exactly. That's what they say. And I think that's so true. And I tell a lot of people like, just as for me, it's like, as long as you can have a camera that has like aperture, shutter speed and ISO settings, like you basically can learn all you need to know about photography, in my opinion. But yeah, so I take a lot of nighttime photos, and that's just happenstance, but also now I'm really into it. The happenstance is because when I started this in January, I had no daylight hours outside of work to work with. So they all happened to be taken at night because of that reason. But
What's the location on the right?
that is Left Bank Books in the Central West End.
Okay. Oh,
I wish I could blow it up a little bigger.
name, duh.
Yeah. But
They were the same first time, like, let's think what's this, I take.
I know, sorry, I should have put borders around them.
I got it, I see the.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't think that one through. But yeah, so I'm taking a lot of nighttime photos. Like I said, it started out as, you know, work with what you got kind of situation, but I've really fallen in love with that kind of photography. And, you know, someone on TikTok like last April had commented on one of my photos, and they were like, this is moth photography. And I was like, what's moth photography? And they were like, I don't know, I just made it up. And it's like, so I've sort of adopted that phrase because it's, you know, I'm attracted to a light in the dark. And so that's kind of like, on my Instagram bio, I have local moth, and that's my whole thing now because I thought it was so funny that they said that. But yeah, so this is kind of what I usually do is I'll go out and I'll find something that I think looks good. And whether or not I have my tripod, like it depends on what settings, you know, what settings are available to me if I have my tripod. But another question that I get a lot is, you know, what are your settings? What are your settings? And I'm sure you guys know, like, it depends. That's the answer. It depends, right?
Yes.
So for example, this Ted Drewes shot, this is the Ted Drewes on Grand. And I did have my tripod for this. So I was able to use a slower shutter speed at 1/25th of a second. if I could blow it up bigger, which maybe after I'm done talking, I can show you guys just the photos outside of the presentation. But there's not a whole lot of motion blur. This cop back here, where you can see him really well, he is a little bit blurry because he's moving around. But even though it's at 1/25th of a second, I didn't get a ton of motion blur, which is kind of nice. But I did want to slow it down to just to kind of capture all the detail in the light. And I will say, like, the one thing that I do that maybe it would be helpful if you are ever interested in shooting at night would be I underexpose. I expose for the highlights, and then I, maybe in Photoshop later on, I'll bump up the shadows a little bit. But like if you use too long of a shutter speed, it automatically just blows out the highlights, and then you get that, I don't know, just really not detailed photo. And then people also ask about the ISO stuff, which I'm not usually a fan of really grainy photos. So I try to keep the ISO low, which is another reason why I use my tripod, because the higher you bump it up, the grainier things get. But as you can see in the Left Bank Books photo, I was using 1250, which means I was probably shooting handheld. And 1/50th of a second is usually the slowest I will go handheld. I don't know if you guys, what's your opinion on that? I know there's kind of varied opinions on how slow you think you can go, but
I always was told when I took photography classes at Merrimack, 1 over the focal length. So if you're
Okay.
shooting at 50 millimeter,
it
1/50th of a
works.
second.
Yeah.
If you're shooting at 400, 1/400th of a second.
For trial and error, that's what has worked for me with my
Yeah.
setup. But yeah, those are just two examples of photos that I've taken and kind of the different settings that I've used depending on whether I have a tripod on the left and I don't have a tripod on the right. Oh, no, gotta be careful. Okay. Another thing that I really like to do is I love going out in the snow and taking photos at night, especially because the lights will just light it up so perfectly. And if I could have made this whole presentation snow photos, I would have. Like, I love snow photos. And people ask me about that a lot too. And snow is hard because you want to capture the movement of it, but you don't have a lot of light to work with. So if you use a fast shutter speed, I'm not using that quick of a shutter speed here. You don't see anything because it's way too dark. So as you can see, I bumped up the ISO again here, and then I'm using 1/60th of a second. I've gone even faster, but then, you're losing the light. So what I've found is when taking photos at night in the snow, the easiest thing for me to do is like point my camera directly at a light because like then you're always going to have some sort of light source in your photo. But it is really, and it depends on the kind of snow too. Like sometimes you get those big flurries that are really slow and it's kind of helpful, but sometimes you get the little fine grainy stuff and it's not as visible. I think and you're battling sometimes your camera freezing up in the cold weather, which has happened to me. So, but yeah, that's just an example of a photo I've taken in the snow. On the right side, I have just a door somewhere in South St. Louis, stained glass. I love stained glass around here. And that one is 2.5 seconds. So that's one of the longer shutter speeds that I've done. That was a really, really dark area, and the only light that was coming was from the door. And it looks even darker on the screen here, but usually you can see a little more detail in the trees. But that's another thing that I struggle with sometimes. You guys were just talking about an art show. Like printing my photos can be difficult because they are so dark and you kind of have to brighten them up even a little bit more before you send them to print because and it depends on what screen you're looking at it on too. Like this screen is really we're losing a lot in the shadows on this screen, but like on your phone it shows up a lot better. On this screen I can even see a little bit more detail. So that's a challenge that I've had, but if you follow me on social media, you can see. That's another question people ask too, when they say, "Oh, your photos aren't grainy. They're not grainy at all. How do you do that so late at night?" And the truth is some of them are grainy, but they're on very small screens on your phone, and it's really hard to tell that there's grain there. And when you go to try to print it, it's not looking as crisp as it is on a phone screen.
Maybe next time you photos, you don't make me take.
Maybe.
Maybe you just put my-
That's cute, actually. Yeah,
Whatever size.
right,
graphic Size, and then I would first one to go big than that. So
right, right.
4x6. You're really drawn into the center.
I love that idea, actually.
The
obvi-
work is great.
Thank you so much. Thank
I
you.
would love you to show it with us too.
Okay. Yeah, I can tell that you need more people. Happy to talk about that.
That is how your photos, you're drawn to your photos because of the darkness, that's
Yeah.
part of the experience.
Mm-hmm.
And so you just need to recreate that.
Yeah.
When you add it,
Mhm.
and I don't know, you know, you would get that if you blew it up. too.
Right. I've done larger prints and I do like that too, but I've never considered like purposefully going small just to like have that like laser focus in on like that. And I really like the idea of that actually. And I like your idea of the black matting because as you can see, I like the black background. I think it really highlights. Yeah. Right. And that's kind of how I do it on social media too, because like Instagram, you don't always the photos don't fit the dimensions of the post always. So sometimes you have to add your background in so that you can size them all the same. And I always do a black background because I think it just highlights the light more than if I do the white background, it distracts, in my opinion.
Kind of like what we're seeing here with the computer background being.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it takes
makes a
away from it a
difference.
little bit.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't have much more. I just have a few more photos. This one on the left is definitely grainier. And like I said earlier, I'm not usually into the graininess. This, I don't know why I was shooting at 160th of a second, but I was shooting concert photography and I had stepped outside and I probably didn't adjust my settings the way that I should have, but I liked the way that the photo turned out, so I kept it. But yeah, I'm slowly starting to try to custom myself to a grainier shot because I think it does give it a little bit more emotion sometimes, like artistic license. Right. So I'm trying to experiment with that a little bit more because I do love when you can like just feel the crispness of a photo, but also I think like this feels more grungy and more like moody.
Good word for it.
Yeah.
Where's that located?
That is on Cherokee Street across from the Golden Record. It's like a concert venue on Cherokee Street. And then this photo on the right is in Midtown. It's an apartment building. You can't see the edges of it because it is totally black on the edges, but that's just a stairwell that's going all the way up the apartment building with
cool.
all the lights. And then there's obviously some trees in the way that are kind of blocking out a few of the lights. So that was also handheld and I'm all the way up at 3200 ISO. This one, I don't think like even blown up, it doesn't look as grainy because there's not much to it. It's a pretty simple photo. So, but yeah, these are two of my, these are the most recent photos I have in this presentation. And I've been trying to get away from the tripod, see how it goes, try new things and keep experimenting with it. But yeah, as I'm experimenting, I'm posting everything on social media and even the stuff that I don't feel that great about, because I think it's good to, be honest and be, transparent about the process a little bit, at least for me. And because I've been doing that, I've gained just an insane following on, I mean, I have almost 63,000 followers on Instagram right now. And because of that, I've been able to do so many things, like talk to you guys, like somebody, I who's the founder of the group who contacted you, Karen?
Tiffany Weed.
Tiffany saw my stuff and invited me here to come talk to you guys, and that's just one thing that's happened. The Ladue News ran an article on me a couple weeks ago. I'm doing farmers markets. I'm selling prints at farmers markets. I have a show at the Dark Room in Midtown right now, and
So guys, if you get your phones out and put it on the camera setting, it'll read the QR code.
yeah, I just figured I'd give everybody the option to find me if they want me,
Yeah.
if they want to.
Absolutely.
It's my full name, Jackie Sharenberg. We've got 5,000 on Facebook now, so I'm trying to get that too. But
Yay.
basically what I've learned is like it's good to put yourself out there because you never know what opportunities will come if you don't try. And I'm not really the kind of person who would get up in front of a group of people and talk. I'm not the kind of person who would post things until like a year and a half ago. I had never posted a photo of myself on social media. Like I just was not that person. I was really intimidated by it. But I thought to myself, what's the harm in trying? You might as well try, or you'll always wonder if,
Mhm.
you could have done something with this. And I'm so happy that I did it because I've had so many great opportunities that have arisen because of this. I had Lumix reached out to me and I did like a camera ad for them on my Instagram. And I'm not saying all this to brag, I'm saying this to say, put yourself out there, like, because if you're thinking to yourself, oh, like nobody cares or people are gonna get annoyed, yeah, all of that stuff, like, you're never gonna get the opportunity if you don't try. So that's like my thesis in all of this is just to say, just do it. Like I was not the kind of person who would do it, but it has worked out so wonderfully, and I hope more people try stuff like this.
I think all of your audience, I think all of us here have a similar story. I'm much older than you, and I picked up a camera 7 years ago because my girlfriend belonged to this group. No, unfortunately, doesn't live in town anymore. I got mine in pawn shop,
Okay, yeah.
and it's a D 4500 or something. But and my lenses are limited.
Right.
Actually, one of our speakers, Mr. Hirsch, or somebody, or maybe a person from your work, Yvonne, basically said, if you're gonna spend money, spend it on lenses, but to keep the body. And that, because I would love mirrorless, but anyway.
Yeah, me too,
But anyway, yeah, so I think you're in the right.
I will say, if you're interested in leaning that way, and now this is Schiller speaking, but always check the used supply at Schiller's. They're always. good stuff.
that is where I bought
And
my
mirrorless has been out for a long time now, so we're starting to get used to
I will
that.
do that. Yeah, this lady over here, Karen, see, she just is publishing a book right now too, and isn't that how you were discovered too? On social media.
Right. It's, I
She has a
mean,
contract.
I'll be talking to you after. Yes, I actually will because I am interested in doing that at some point, so.
It came out of the blue. It's a lot of work.
I know.
Well, you
Writing.
and Diana Lindsley are both doing books
Right.
about Missouri.
Yeah, she worked with the local publisher.
Yeah,
That's very cool.
yeah. Do we have any questions at home? Our online people? Go ahead and unmute yourself and feel free to jump in.
I have a question.
Mhm.
How do you record yourself?
I get comments sometimes, they're like, so you set up a camera to record yourself to take photos. It's like, okay, well, I need an intro sometimes to the photos. And that's kind of how I set it up. I usually will do like an intro slide of like a selfie of me or a video, and the video I just take on my phone. And I'll be like, sometimes I'll say, this photo reminded me of this. And then I'll show the photo and see if people agree or disagree, or, you know, I'll have my intro where I talk about how much I love St. Louis, and then show photos that kind of exemplify that. But yeah, I just use my phone, and I honestly need a little mini tripod for my phone because I often just take my shoe off and prop it up with my shoe. And then people are in my comments being like, "Where's your shoe?"
We sell many tripods at Shillers. I have one.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
And it turned out so good, I was shocked.
yeah.
It was a little, probably cost me $10. And it's
Right. It's not, I just need to do it. I just haven't done it. And you know, like I mean, also, I think it's kind of funny when people are like, "Where is your shoe?" And I'm like, "Well, it's behind the camera. I'm
That's
using
funny.
it." Yeah, we are a low budget operation over here, clearly.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. And I don't spend a lot of time on the intro videos. I spend way more time on the actual photography. You know, my selfies are not like, that is not the most beautiful photo of me in the world. Okay, this is me at like 10 p.m. on the side of the road. I just needed something because I want to write text on the screen, right? But I
Uh-huh.
don't want to cover the photo with the text. So that's why I started the selfie thing, because then I could put the text on that photo and not cover up the actual photo that I took.
Good
Are you
point.
writing the text or recording it and having it?
I'm writing it out. Yeah, you know, if anybody is interested in getting into social media, like my philosophy is the more you post, the better. And I don't like that Ted Drew's photo. I've posted that hundreds of times at this point. It's not always the same post that I'm posting. I'll write something different before I show it. But I think reusing content and reusing photos and putting it out there more, like people who follow you on social media, they're not going to see every post. So you can post it. When I first started, I was posting 3 times a day on TikTok. And I was posting 3 times a day on TikTok for like half a year before I hit 1,000 followers. And yeah, once you hit, basically, it took me a year to get 100 followers, took me 6 months to get 1,000 followers, and then it took me a month to get 3,000 followers, and then it just went.
What photo resonated? Some, you know, when I look at things like on Instagram, you see some photos that are like that resonated.
Yeah.
And then probably brought them in more followers. too.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I do have one photo that I didn't put in here that I took of a laundromat that was the first photo that got attention online. And it's a laundromat in Maplewood. I'm trying to think if I have it.
2 weeks ago.
You know the one with the red sign?
Is it the one where Quick Trip used to be?
No, it's on a side road.
Okay.
I'm trying to think.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to go through my stuff and see. I thought maybe I had a shared folder in here. Shared with me.
You're busy, because you're on Friday.
Oh, I guess I don't have it, but I have it on my phone. I'll pass my phone around later, maybe, if you want to see that photo. But I did have a photo of just a laundromat. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
I'll find it.
But it's people compare that one, and I think people have said that about my Left Bank Books photo too. They compare it to Edward Hopper's Nighthawks.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so I think that's why it got a lot of attention, because people were drawing that comparison in their head. And I kind of poke fun at that sometimes, which like I am so flattered by that. You know, like that's great. But it is funny because I've gotten hundreds of comments from people who say that, hey, your photos remind me of that one painting. I'm like, Edward Hopper's Nighthawks, which I love that painting.
We have thought that on some years in the week was, they talked about exhibiting as improvement shows or where, like you mentioned, you go to the,
At the farmer's market, yeah. I'm at Tower Grove, well, so the Tower Grove Farmers Market group runs several markets in the St. Louis area, and the Tower Grove Farmers Market is really hard to get into because it's very popular. So I tried to get into it this year and I was waitlisted. But they run a farmers market in the Boulevard, across from the Galleria, you know, where that Crate and Barrel is. So I've been doing that for I didn't sign up for every weekend because I wasn't sure if this was something that I really wanted to do. But I'm really loving it, so I'm kind of regretting not doing that. But that's gone well, and I am on the wait list for Tower Grove. So I got off the wait list this weekend. I'm gonna be at Tower Grove on Saturday morning selling stuff.
Fun.
Yeah, I'm really excited, but I'm also like, I keep booking myself up with stuff, and I'm like, okay, I thought I was gonna be free this weekend, but when the opportunity comes, you have to take it. So,
maybe doing something as would be good because then.
Like setting up a booth as a
Yeah,
group.
we got a members here, now she has the tent and stuff, and she said she let us, you know, the covering and the things, because she has done a lot of shows for them. So I mean, I think that's why I kind of was like, I mean, you can't hang up 25 photos, but you can also do things like, you still be hanging, and you'll still be, you can have those, put in little plastic things and stuff,
You know-
prints and stuff like that.
I wish I had my computer hooked up to this. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'd show you guys my setup and everything if you want to see it.
You know, I've got photos in the current Green Root Gallery show. And I took over some of my matted prints and some of my cards. I got a Venmo payment of $2.25. One of my cards sold.
Nice.
5 cents. I'm like, all right.
I think that's another thing that's been hard for us.
Yeah,
Really hard figuring out how much to charge.
it is like I was like kind of looking at what you guys had out there, and I'm like, okay, is that like, because I'm guessing at things too, you know.
Well, and we here, we look at who our audience is, and you know, this is somebody coming in to read books, so check out books,
Right.
they're not looking to shop.
Right.
Although surprisingly, we hung on Tuesday after Labor Day, and I got a call Wednesday that one of my pictures sold. So
That's awesome.
like, you know, what are the odds?
Yeah, and your frame and I mean, whatever that would do.
Where?
Because like I have one I'm showing next week,
Wait, it's-
the first one that I'll show it, that it's custom frame, so I'm not gonna put anything less than 450 just because the custom frame was.
Because of what it costs, yeah.
250, and I will have to do that in front over again. If I sell it, so it's like, yeah, I gotta at least give enough money out of it right
To redo it.
I've also been selling on Etsy.
Oh, cool.
So that's another thing that I've been doing. But
Those prices are framed?
no,
Oh,
no,
okay,
no, no.
okay.
I
I was
just photoshopped that in there, and
Okay.
it says that when you click into the listing because, yeah, because this is not, basically what I did when I was researching prices is I went and I looked at other photographers that I was following on social media,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, what are they charging for this size, for this size? I was like, okay, what do I think I can do? And I tried this, and this is working for now. I will say I had somebody come up to me at the farmer's market last time and be like, well, I probably wouldn't pay for that. And I'm like, okay, well, you could have just kept that to yourself, but.
Yeah, really. Actually, that's what I got on my prints at Green Root Gallery, $35. And they're matted.
Okay, yeah,
With
yeah.
and they're in a
yeah.
plastic sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
And they're 8x10s.
Yeah.
Remember, like I said, she moved out of town, she's not here, but we all know her Kimberly's. And she was at some art fair and she was priced because she wasn't selling.
Clayton, she was at the Clayton Art
Oh.
Show.
And they came, one of the other artists came up to her and said, your price is too low.
Oh,
She doubled her prices.
and sold.
And sold.
Yeah, yeah, I could see that too, though, because if you devalue yourself, then people will assume like, well, then it's not really worth that much. Why would I, you know?
When I decide, when I go out to other groups and other events, when I tell them we're women in focus, they all think we're a bunch of housewives.
Yeah.
just getting it together.
Yeah.
And kind of taking our photos and have.
A little hobby, cute.
That's what.
Yeah.
It depends what you said. When we were graphic cut, because they took a cut, it was different than doing it at Forest, it doesn't take a cut by the way. So yeah, so just that depends too.
Right.
But I have found when the woman part is something that we have to.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we need to be professional women in focus. There you go.
But I think we're doing fine.
I think we are too.
The more we do it, the more like side shows, all the different places we're showing, it really adds credence.
Mm-hmm.
We've been doing this now for like 7 years.
The Women in Focus,
Well,
2015, I
I'll
think.
say, when I looked at your website after Karen contacted me, I looked at your website, I was like, oh, like, these are really good photos. Like, I think you have a really good sampling on the website of like what you guys are capable of. I'm not sure who all is on there, but I think that alone just proves like if people see that, they're like, oh, these people know what they're doing, you know?
Well, the reception is important, but still, out of this, when you show our receptions, we should keep attending them. That really helps future shows when they see that, you know.
Right.
We threw in 100 people now to graphic house. Graphic, gallery for any. And they look at that too, because they want the traffic to get them through their place.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We had our first show there 10 years ago.
Wow.
At Grafika, yeah, isn't that funny?
Where is that?
They're down the street.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, just, if you go past Dairy Queen, you've gone too far.
Okay, actually, that's a good reference.
It's across the street, it's across the street and about a block this side of Dairy
Okay,
Queen.
okay,
Just past the, Telly Tire place.
okay, yeah.
There's a
Okay.
car repair place
Okay.
on the left, yeah.
Okay, okay.
But Telly Tire is a good landmark. It used to be Subaru of Webster, but now it's Telly Tire.
And there are other places we wanna show, it's just, I mean, frankly, we said 2 shows a year, and we've already.
We've exceeded that this year.
And just put them on 5 or something. I don't give it a good time to see both.
Too many.
Well, and it's hard to coordinate everyone, you know,
Yes.
like I have you as a reference before this, but like for me, it's like this is so easy because I only have to worry about myself. Like for everything I've done, I'm, you know, yeah.
They can speak for themselves, but when you have a show, you do work. When you have a page like this, when you have, the nice thing about that is it makes you accountable and gets your work out.
Right.
Because I'm one of the people still working, and I easily can put this in the back
Mm-hmm.
on the bottom of my list, and I don't want to do that.
Right. Well, and I think like I was saying before this meeting started, like I love photography. I have not connected with any photographers in St. Louis. Like I have just been doing this solo, like social media is great because I can put this stuff out there, but it is online, you know, and it's like, it's nice to talk to people who have shared interests. So I'm really happy that you invited me to do this because what? Right. I'll be at the next meeting. Well, I will say, I would love to join. My schedule is insane, so I don't know like what your commitment level is for. Okay.
We're pretty flexible.
And, we are really loose as far as, you know, but I will tell you, our programming, I feel, holds you on, our others here, our programming is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, also didn't have any connections, I mean, we're going down to the Grand Arts Center. I keep forgetting that guy's name. We went to visit,
Boulevard, Robert Boulevard.
Boulevard. And we're learning about, I'm learning, all of us, but I'm learning about papers.
Mm,
And I'm
mhm.
learning about how he does things for the, Missouri History Museum. He's done things all over the
Yeah.
class. And I never in a million years on my own would have been able to walk in there and get that kind of education.
Right.
And then we have, other people like Karen talking about how she gets her book. And among other things that
That's-
she's done.
yeah.
Talking about moving from photography to the Cardinals to the doing things. She likes the night too late. She likes it at like 3 a.m. and it's cold.
All right. I'm not out at 3 a.m.
And she also done classes, and everybody else here too. I think, you're so.
I mean, everything you just said, like, sounds great, especially like because I've been looking for more help on what I might call like the business side of things, where you're talking about printing, you're talking about book stuff. Like it's really hard. Sometimes people can be a little bit
Yes.
unhelpful or like not willing to give their secrets away, So I would love to get to talk about that kind of thing a lot. Yeah.
Like this, do you,
Yes,
or
I've been shipping them.
mat them? Frame them?
So
That's the way-
I don't sell mats and I don't sell frames because I started this Etsy store because somebody asked me if they could buy a photo and I didn't know anything about selling photos and I was like, okay, what's the fastest way I can get online and selling things? And so I started this Etsy store and at the time I was really scared about the shipping part of it because I didn't understand how it worked. So the first person who bought something from me was my sister, so I could test it and make sure I had it all, it worked, it actually got to her. But if I were to do this again, I'd probably set it up differently. And I'm hoping that in the winter I can set it up a little bit differently because the way Etsy works is once you set up a shipping profile, that is the only shipping profile you can have for that listing. So if I wanted to include a frame in the listing, I would be losing money because I didn't set it up to ship a frame. Yeah. So I need to
So you're selling just the print?
just the print.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Which that it should be cost of lower than two, because everybody
Right.
else looks at the price plus shipping.
Right, right.
A page on Fine Artists, America, I think it's called.
Mhm.
They do all.
They
Okay.
do all the printing and
They do
everything, I think, yeah.
the shipping.
Right. I want to look into that kind of thing. I'm considering, well, I mean, the ultimate goal for me is to make my own website where I can do all of this from my own site because I think it's better to own your stuff than to be relying on an external website for these kinds of things. Even like social media, it's like Instagram could disappear tomorrow and then it's all gone, So I'm trying to figure out how to, have my own website and my own source for people to access my stuff. That is very time consuming. As I said, I work full time. I'm
Sounds
trying
like
to
a
make time
possible
for.
program. What do you think?
I have a DBA, doing business as right now, but I'm trying to get that stuff kind of in order to, I'm talking to an accountant on Monday because I'm.
Your mileage, all that stuff is done.
Mm-hmm. Yes, separate from this, I own a 2-family flat. So I have like a little bit of knowledge on what expenses you can deduct and all of that stuff. So I've been keeping track of all of that and I have it all, like most of the money that I've made from this has been this year. So, I just want to make sure I have everything in order before it comes time to actually file taxes, because that's another thing with the farmer's market. I had to do the DVA because I needed to collect sales tax. And so I've never done that before. So that's why I'm trying to talk to an accountant because I don't really know how that works either. So I know. I'm like, I want to find them before they find me. Yeah, right.
That's ideal. Actually.
Yeah.
We're going to offer a discount.
Some people do that.
There's a little farmer's market here in Webster,
Oh yeah, I've seen that online.
Lady, no,
Yes, doesn't is Maypop around here?
No,
Oh,
yeah,
Maypop's
no,
over
no,
up on-
it's on the other side of Sixth Street, so they have it at Maypop every other.
Okay, okay,
Every other to the street.
okay,
Which
okay.
is not ideal because it's really hard to get out of our place when that's going on across the street, but anyway.
Yeah,
They have a little farmer, they call
Yeah.
it a farmer's market, it's mostly crafts.
yeah, right.
There's only one booth that's actually.
Really? Oh, dang.
farmers.
I think it's hard to find the
But it's
farmers.
like how they take the whole parking lot across the street and then they take all the shops.
Mm,
And then they take the other parking. lot,
okay,
where the beauty salon is, so it's a fairly big area.
yeah.
You know.
I wanted to mention, I was just at the Eden Seminary down the street, and the reason I was there was to photograph the 50th anniversary of the Friends of the Western Girls Library.
Oh,
They got a proclamation from the mayor, Tom Cooper was there.
really?
Library director here, and the current library director was there, and about 100 other people. So people don't know that these people have been around this long, and that they contribute so much to the community, you know, the government isn't helping them anymore, that's for sure. And so they raise all kinds of money and really these places go. And so I learned a lot tonight. And that's
What's that gonna be published in? Is it gonna be published in?
It'll be in the Western Curve Times. They didn't have a photographer tonight. I don't know, president of the board, so she asked me if I come. I was writing on it.
That's the other thing, when you, on this group, you can have more shows on your
Right,
resume.
Right.
You have, doing shows is expensive, I
Mhm.
solo show, very expensive, and this is good that you could on certain shows about having. Investment, there's your.
Right.
College.
Right. yeah.
You know, Diana Lindsley is one of the photographers for Webster Carpet Times.
Right.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I run a photography business. If you need any help and, you know, what you need to track and
Mm,
effectiveness of your dates,
yeah,
all that, and you really need to track everything that you spend.
mm-hmm,
Because it's all, you know, like I just got back from Utah,
mm-hmm,
photographing wild horses out there, and so if you sell one photograph, you can write the trip.
right,
So, you know, but I track all the photographs that I sell, all the frames, all the paper,
mm-hmm,
mileage, the expense for my website, email, everything that I can write off is in a spreadsheet that I track, and then I can hand that off
right,
to my CPA at the end of the year, and they
right,
should say, well, did you want to do this? Well,
yeah,
you know, did I miss something like that? Cause even buying camera equipment, anything that
Mhm.
relates to your business.
right, like Photoshop,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes. The monthly fee for that,
Mhm.
monthly fee that you have to pay for Etsy or
Mhm.
anything that you pay
Mhm.
for.
yeah, I'm keeping receipts, I actually opened a separate bank account for everything, because I was like, I don't wanna get confused about it, and if I need to go back and look at what I spent or what I made, I have that tracked. I just don't know, you know, like, basically because of the social media stuff, like I'm in a really weird spot where I'm getting income from really strange sources, and I'm like, I don't know, you know, like Facebook paid me $10 this month because I posted however many videos and got enough views or whatever.
Oh,
Yes. And I would
Interesting.
probably be making more on Facebook if I was using royalty-free music, and I don't I have 5,000 followers, which is a lot, but not that much. But no, as far as I know, at least,
YouTube does though.
yes, and I'm not on YouTube. TikTok pays if you make a video a minute or longer. I don't make that many long videos. So I think I made $20 on TikTok last month, and that was like the most I've ever made on TikTok. So it's not like life-changing money, but you know, I get right, right. So there's just different weird things like that where it's like, okay, I don't know, you know, if I need to be doing something different here or how to track everything. So
As long as it's under 600, then I'm gonna report it to you
Mm,
government.
yeah.
At least you're okay.
Oof,
Okay.
I'm okay then.
But you know, the good thing on too, some of these companies will send you, you know, It's 1099, exactly. So
Right.
Then it has to be reported.
Well, like Etsy last year, I didn't end up having to pay any money to the government because my expenses were so much that it didn't matter, but I had hit the threshold, whatever it was on Etsy for my sales, which was not that high of a threshold. And then accounting for expenses, so I had to file that paperwork, but I didn't end up owing any money because of,
That's the issue.
yeah, yeah.
Mike, if you ever got an account that pretty much makes it that way every time, then you need a new account.
Well, you know, I'm getting to the point, fortunately,
Dedicate to your photography.
right.
But there's tons of stuff.
That's what I don't do, I don't, you know, but I have a whole room that looks like a disaster room.
I can relate. I can relate.
But it's okay.
That was, but I don't take that off. It's
Yeah.
like, you know, I don't wanna send any red flags up to them.
Right.
Yeah, you know, it's like, because if you get audited, you're gonna
Have to
all the
prove,
receipts, you're
yeah.
gonna have everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's important, but, you know.
Mhm. Yeah. The nice thing about most things is that you, like, most of the stuff I'm doing, I have receipts in my email inbox. I have, you know, if I purchase something on Amazon, they save all the receipts. So it's like, you have that proof there. But, right.
I do it with my email on my website.
I'm just,
Access to our Facebook page,
Pardon?
Does Jackie have access to our Facebook page now?
Not yet,
Because that's.
because she's not a member.
okay, what do I need to do? Blood sacrifice?
I sent you an email.
Thank you.
I'll give her access.
Hardcore.
Sign out of my accounts on here.
It's been wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you guys for having me. I hope I, you know, did an okay job.
You did a wonderful job. Obviously, you elicited a lot of conversation, and that's always good.
Good.
Yeah, good deal. Well, ladies, I'm gonna disconnect now. Bye. Thank you for joining us online. Pardon? Say that again.
So.
She's the one to ask.
And